And today I'm talking about the seven things I wish I knew before I started wholesaling. And I got to be honest with you, I've collected these seven things probably in my first 10 years of wholesaling. And honestly, it came back to remind me for my last 10 years of wholesaling. So if you want to get a head start and you want to learn from my mistakes, this is going to be the perfect video for you guys. My name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling 21 years. And the reason I do this channel is to inspire you to get started in wholesaling, to show you actually how to do it, and to tell you it is actually a lot simpler than you think. Most people way overcomplicate this. So 2 ways to connect with me. You got the comment section. Drop your name in there. Let me know what market you're doing, what you're up to. Let me know if you're just getting started. Just give an introduction. You'd be surprised the amount of people that you can meet in these live streams. Why not? Everyone's here for the same reason, for wholesaling. Also, I put a link in the comments under Rick Ginn if you want to join that. You want to do a one-on-one, you want to talk and connect. I do it 100% absolutely free, and that is a great place to connect with me. So without further ado, let's jump into it. The 7 things I wish I knew before I started wholesaling. Now, I don't have a order of sequence or anything like that. But every one of these things, if you can resonate, I had to narrow down the 7, what I thought were the most important, because honestly, it was like 25, but you guys are only going to retain so much information. So let's take the top 7 and we are going to run with them. Now, I actually think I'm going to do one of the most important ones. Actually, let's just jump into it. You ready? You don't need a real estate license to wholesale. Now, thank God I never got my real estate license. But even all the way back in 2003, the early part of 2003, everyone's like, you should get your license, Rick. It's going to make you a more legit wholesaler. Honestly, here I am 20 years later, actually 21 years later. I never got a real estate license. And honestly, I kissed the ground every day I didn't get it. Why? Because honestly, getting your license puts you in a much worse position as a wholesaler. Number one, you have a higher level of disclosures. All your marketing material, your bandit signs, your direct mail, your business cards, every time you cold call someone, every time you SMS somebody, you have to disclose that you are a licensed realtor. Honestly, it's like a kick in the teeth. It's going to kill your marketing. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just why. If I want to be a licensed electrician, why would I go get a real estate license? And wholesaling is the same thing. Most people think they're covering themselves from doing something. You're not. You're actually creating a new set of liabilities for you. And here's the best part is not only are you going to pay between $2,500 and $4,000 a year for MLS access, errors and omissions insurance, and you're going to have a boss that doesn't understand what you do and doesn't understand why you're not collecting commissions. You're collecting assignments, and they're going to find a way to tax you on that eventually. I promise you. It makes you get a boss. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, what'd you go out there? You can go get a boss that they're going to inspire you, motivate you. They don't know wholesaling. And for that reason, the next reason why people try to get their real estate license, actually there's multiple reasons, is, well, Rick, I can do both. I could be a real estate agent. So if they just need to list their house, I can do that and get the commissions, or I can buy their house. Well, guess what? If that transaction goes south or there's a misunderstanding, guess which shoes you fit into? You are the bona fide licensed real estate agent. I don't care what you sign with that homeowner. And at the end of the day, you're going to be held to a higher standard. Now, when I say higher standards, don't get me wrong. Real estate agents are no different than you and me, regular people. But the license has requirements. And so first thing is, I believe you have to be 18 years of age. So if you're under 18, don't even consider getting a real estate license because they don't think you're worthy of it. You're not smart enough for us. Give me a break. Number 2, if you have any type of criminal record, you're out, gone. There are exceptions, but you have to prove yourself. You have to do all this stuff. Honestly, people make mistakes. It's ridiculous that you think somebody... Honestly, I've met more licensed real estate agents that I prefer to work with wholesalers any day of the week. So you got that going. Number 2, you have to have a high school diploma. I've already told you your education doesn't matter in real estate, especially in wholesaling. Honestly, if you guys understand how I feel about the whole education system, it is pro-sided, one-sided for you to become an employee. So you get a job and you pay your taxes and you follow the government's lead. That's it. You'll be perfect as a realtor if you do that. As a wholesaler, we're completely the opposite. So you have to go get, and even your GED, you have to ask for special permission because they don't think that's as acceptable. You got to be kidding me. Honestly, I've seen people with 6th grade education, some of the richest people I ever met in my life. Your education level, education does help you. I'm not even going to discount that. but it doesn't make you privileged to where you can't do certain things. And that's what drives me nuts about real estate agents. Lastly, there is a collective group of wholesalers that say, listen, you need to become licensed because there's a couple states that it's risky. And if you read the statutes, you'll understand how to navigate through them. I'm not going to go through every state. Me and Zach have done a ton of videos on this. And honestly, there's only 1 or 2 states you really got to pay attention to. But for the most part, it is 100% legal to wholesale in 50 states in the United States. Prove me wrong. I'm not going to get into Oklahoma has a slight exception and Illinois. That is it. All the others are nitpicky laws that are easily to navigate around if you understand wholesaling. But how many gurus go out there and just instill fear in you guys? Oh my God, you got to get a license. And then once again, guess what? They have a solution for you. You've got to join their brokerage because they're licensed real estate agents. Wonder how that worked. They're supposed to be wholesalers, but they're licensed real estate agents. Oh, and if you work under my brokerage and sign up, which is basically an MLM, because they get a spiff from it, and then you go out and recruit others. And if you guys have ever been hammered by your friends that done MLM, God knows I have. Somehow it's found its way into real estate, and it didn't find its way into wholesaling. It found its way into the realtor world. And that's what you're seeing now. That's why you're seeing the big push. All they need you to do is sign up. They get a spiff and you keep signing up everybody. It's like an endless recruiting cycle and everybody makes monies on fees. Very few people actually make money on real estate. And then they promise you they're going to make you a bona fide, correctly trained wholesaler, but most of them don't even know how to do it themselves, or they don't do it anymore. They are actually bona fide real estate agents. And that's where you wind up with this quandary. Guys, stop trying to think you get your real estate license. Here's the exception. If you got your real estate license because you actually wanted to get your real estate license and you wanted to get commissions and you decide that is a bunch of crap, I don't like it, I want to be a wholesaler, I get it if you held both sides. In my opinion, you're almost better off letting it expiring when it goes. It's not the end of the world because, of course, you got to renew it every year. So NAR, which is a National Association of Realtors, which, by the way, is being pursued by the Department of Justice, which is a highly political group anyways, and they're going after them for a monopoly. That's right, a monopoly, and it is completely unfair. It's completely biased, and I don't know whenever it's going to resolve, but I think it's absolutely hysterical, the whole thing. So this clean, reputable system, which spends hundreds of millions of dollars a year using lobbyists to fight off, are being sued by the Department of Justice for unfair practices, basically monopoly of the entire business. And if you guys want to get your license, well, that's fine. If you got your license before and you want to let it expire, or maybe you want to do duality, I kind of get it then. But if you're a bona fide wholesaler, you go and get your real estate license is going to get you in hot water. I have case after case after case, because when you get your license, if somebody doesn't like what you're doing, which is a lot, because most people don't understand what wholesalers do. They think what we do is illegal because they never took the time to understand it and they don't have the guts to do what we do. They report you to state agencies, federal agencies, their title companies, their other realtors, and even other wholesalers can report you. And guess what? You have to report to a board that is entirely represented by realtors and brokers, and you're probably going to get in trouble. And if it happens over and over again, you got to go find another broker, and it just never stops. Guys, I've watched this time and after time. This was the one decision I actually did right, and I'm telling you, I want you to understand that. Next one. This one's powerful, especially right now, and I'm going to double down on this. Wholesaling works in any market. In all markets. Why? It's wholesaling. I've done it for 21 years. I've never gotten out of it. And if you guys think you're in extreme market now, go back to 2005 and 6. I mean, it was almost off the charts. Like we saw numbers we never saw. And then 2008, the 9 came. It was the extreme opposite. It was so extreme opposite. It was the worst down market we've seen in over 100 years. Guess what, guys? I wholesaled the entire time. And here's what people will do. And these are people you must avoid at all costs when they go, wholesaling doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. No, wholesaling always works. You just don't understand how wholesaling works because you were taught by someone that taught you a couple niche techniques that work in a very hot market and they don't work under normal market conditions. That's not really wholesaling. And guys, that's why you're seeing a mass exodus from wholesaling. Just go on Google, go look up your favorite gurus from 3 or 4 years ago. They're all like, most of them are gone. Why? Because what they do doesn't work anymore and they actually don't do the business. And if you understand that, why in the hell would you, like, you almost question, like, why did I follow his or her advice? And here's what they all say. Wholesaling really doesn't work anymore right now. No. You don't know how to work wholesaling. I'll show you every day. Wholesaling has always worked. in every market, extreme up or down. It works in every market. And people that don't understand how to wholesaling, here's what they all say. Wholesaling doesn't work. Just understand that's not a wholesaler. That is what you call an internet marketer. And when their crowd dries up, they're done. They're over with because they got no more income coming in. So make sure you understand this. And especially right now, if you have people that are giving you advice, you talk to them like, oh, wholesaling doesn't really work anymore. It is code for they have no idea what they're doing. It makes absolutely no sense. You don't think there's somebody motivated every day to sell some sort of property somewhere in this country? Hands down, 330 million people, you do the math. Guys, don't ever buy into this crap because it's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Real estate always moves. There's just different market conditions. There's different interest rates. There's different buyers and sellers, but it's always here. The only way you screw yourself in wholesaling is by quitting. And if you quit, I guarantee you're going to be done. Okay, here's a big one. And you guys are just going to have to pony up on this one because I'm looking, when I wrote this the other night, I go, my God, these things are such truth. And sometimes I look away from this and I look at it again when I'm doing you guys. I'm like, oh my God, that one's like really hit me in the gut. You ready? Stop trying to look rich. You know what I'm talking about. You guys are driving those really nice lease cars, or you rent them. You rent that nice Yukon for the weekend because you want to impress that girl or something like that. Just stop. You're never going to get ahead doing this. Nobody cares how nice of a car you drive. Honestly, we don't even care how nice your home is. The reality is, how do you truly define if somebody's rich? Here's my definition. A rich person is someone that can do whatever they want, has the financial means to make whatever choice they want. It's not about unlimited money, and has freedom of their time to go anywhere in this world they want and still be able to make a living. That is richness, guys. That is it. Because if you just chase money, you will never catch it. Let me give you an example. When I started wholesaling, if I had $300 in my bank account, it was impressive. Okay. That's a college education. Everything I was doing, working for corporate America. Why I only have $300? Because I was trying to look rich. I was terrible at it. And honestly, it was beyond exhausting. You know, keeping up with the Joneses, it sucks. And it is a mental thing that society has taught everyone. You've got to look rich. You've got to, what's the word for it? You're trying to be a certain class. And the reality is you're just borrowing it and you have to work harder and harder to get it. And the reality is, I go, man, if I could just get like $3,000 in my bank account, just adding a zero to that, I would be so happy. You guys ever said this? You can say it. Like, say it in the comments if you say it. We say stuff like this all the time. And guess what? I got $3,000 in the bank account. Now I still have my full-time job and I was wholesaling because I had a crap load of debt and I had 2 young kids. A little Zach, he wasn't always this big. And then I got 3,000. I remember telling my wife, I go, gosh, if we could just get 10 grand set aside. Now, once I went into wholesaling full-time, 10 grand was a piece of cake. It was like, my wife's like, oh my God, like we've never had this much money. I'm here to tell you guys, 10 grand in the scheme, it's not a lot of money. And then it went, okay, if I could get 25,000. And then I remember saying 50. And then I remember saying 100. And then I remember go, man, if we could just put $250,000 in it. And then guys, guess what? Can I have $1 million liquid cash? Piece of cake. And I don't say this to impress on you. I'm just saying, money is always a moving target. You're never going to hit it. So then the million turns into 5 million, the 10 million, 20, 30. And this is how people get so obsessive. And before you know it, if they hit the goal or they're close to it, they just have no more time left in life. And to me, like I don't want to do that. Honestly, as long as I can make a ton of money and have the choices, do whatever I want, live wherever I want, take care of my family, and I really don't have to work another day, I just choose to work. That is richness, guys. And the only way you're going to get there is start focusing on becoming rich instead of trying to be rich. You see, there is a tremendous difference. And honestly, once you accept it deep in your gut with conviction, you just stop trying to brag with people. Hey, look at my nice boat. Look at this nice car. Look at this. Guys, I want an incredible boat, but boats are a terrible investment. They go down very fast. And honestly, I'm in my empire, like real estate building stage, and I have a plan over the next 3 years and I'm going to hit it. So I do not waste time. I do not drive fancy cars. I am simple. You guys are never going to see me bragging about it because it doesn't matter. If I lived in a trailer that was completely paid off and I had 10 million in the bank, you would never know the difference. But here's the difference is the people that are broke, they're always going to tell you how well they're doing. That's how you know someone's lying to you, by the way. And then the people that just humbly go about their life and just go, okay, I'm happy that where I am. I'm going to get better tomorrow. And that's what I want to do. Guys, just please understand the statement. Stop trying to become rich. Stop trying to be rich. Stop trying to look rich and learn how to become rich because you're going to have to make some sacrifices to do it. and you're going to have to give up on trying to keep up with your neighbors and your friends because it's a joke. They are not happy. They are miserable. They're struggling just to make most of their payments. And once you understand that and you actually talk to some of your friends and family, you'll understand what a plight is. Now, here's the really cool thing is it only takes 2 years to really turn anything around. Honestly, 1 year, 6 months, you can change a lot. In 30 days, you can change it. Everyone's different. But I'm just telling you, if you will absorb this statement, if you can make this fundamental difference, you can massively pivot your life with wholesaling. But here's the problem is I did not take this statement when I started wholesaling. Guess what I did? I just started buying more crap. Oh boy, did I impress the neighbors. But like it all wears off and it got me nowhere until I started to buy assets that actually paid me. And I got no real benefit up front other than the tax write-off, the depreciations, which I learned. See, we're in a society where we want instant payoff. We want that nice car. We want that nice boat. We want that fancy jewelry. Cut the crap out, guys. If you can adapt the statement and do wholesaling, my God. But here's the problem is I did wholesaling and I skipped this part. And it took me 5 to 7 years to unwind all my debt and actually buy assets that pay myself. And I had to educate myself. And that's the journey of wholesaling. It opened up this Pandora box. It's like, how do you become really rich? And you take the proceeds from wholesaling once you get financially set and you start buying things that pay you and your family for the rest of your life. And that's it. People is like, how did you get that? I go, you went around the 10 years. I just like, I was buying everything and I just forgot about it. And every day I remind my wife, I remind myself, I go, we're broke. Where are we going to find the money today? We got to go out and find more deals. We got to help more people out. We got to do more JVs, and that's how it works. So this is what it ties up on this one. Here's the next one. In order for you to accomplish on not looking rich and becoming rich, you have to do the following. You're going to have to lose your ego. Honestly, if it's the one thing you can take out of wholesaling, trust me on this one. Everybody has one. I've never met someone that doesn't have an ego, so we all have them. Even a Buddhist, even a monk has an ego. And they will talk to you in depth about it. And I implore you to dig deeper into how your ego works. Your ego is your mask. It is your persona. You put on a mask and it's what you show the world who you think you should be. But the reality, it's not you and you know it. That's why you do this ego. Your ego always wants you to be right. It's extremely selfish and it never listens. So if it's always right, extremely selfish, and it never listens, anytime you're wearing your ego, you can't get ahead in life, business, or with your family. Ego is there to make you feel good right on the spot. So if you understand how business works and you have to have delayed gratification, why wouldn't it work with your ego? You got to take your ego, grab it, and put it in your pocket. Stop trying to interject in every conversation. Stop trying to be right. And stop, for goodness sakes, trying to look rich. Learn how to become rich. The only way you can do it is you absolutely have to lose your ego. It's got to go away. And honestly, if you can grasp this concept, here's a little hint. For those of you that argue with everybody on the internet, stop. It's your ego. It's only your ego, and it's your ego talking, and you look like an idiot when you do it. It's just the truth. I do not argue with people on the internet. Number one, I don't know who they are. I don't know what their credentials are. And most of them are just keyboard warriors. Why people do it is because it gives them instant gratification and they know they're not going to get punched in their mouth. 9 times out of 10, that person would never make that comment in front of the person because they'd scared there'd be repercussions. That's why people are so bold on the internet. It's like, I just think it's kind of funny. So, okay, let's keep moving through this so I can do the one-on-ones on the lives on it. So if we know we got to stop trying to look rich, we want to be rich. To do that, we have to lose our ego. You've got to understand this rule. You ready? Boy, and this one gets a lot of you. God knows it got me. Don't look for the quick fix and the shortcut to wholesaling. Guess what? It doesn't exist. It's bull. It's BS. I could use every slang word on here. You know what I mean? The reason why you guys see the quick fix and the shortcuts, because it sounds really good. And when it sounds really good, these things called marketers, they write up a pitch to solve your biggest problem. But here's the problem is, the pitch is amazing. It sounds so perfect. I've bought into it so many times. There's no substance when it gets down to it. And when there's no substance, it means you bought into something. It made you feel good real quick, right? Stop trying to look rich and become rich. Rich people never do this crap, by the way. Number 2, your ego got the best of you because the ego says, that'll solve our problem, Rick. Let's do it. And you buy it. And whatever you paid, anywhere from $100 to 10,000. Some of you paid 50 grand. And then you find in the end, you actually have to do the work anyways. It wasn't really a shortcut. And honestly, it doesn't really work. You're seeing MLS. You're seeing, reach out to real estate agents. This will fix everything. Honestly, it's the worst thing you can do as a newbie, as a wholesaler, because you're not a wholesaler. you're a pseudo real estate agent without a license. And at that point, you probably should just go get your license and join a realtor team, because that's not wholesaling. That is not the shortcut. It's not the quick fix. Creative financing is not the end all and solves all wholesaling. Honestly, a wholesaler can do anything with creative financing. A creative finance person that doesn't understand wholesaling is lost. So understand that. Imagine this. If you wanted to learn math and someone goes, listen, you don't need to learn math. It's a bunch of BS. Just jump over to calculus and geometry. That's where the action's at. So when people tell you don't have to do the math, you can just go over and do calculus or geometry or trigonometry. You don't have to do that. That's the same person who says, why don't you do creative financing so you have to compete with the wholesalers? Wholesaling is a fundamental skill set to buy properties at a deep discount. And the specialty is learn how to market people, specifically guerrilla marketing. That's like down roots tactics to find deals with little to no money at all. If you can learn that single skill set, I promise you, you can master anything you want to do in real estate. Go out there and find any wholesaler. They can do anything from short sales to fix and flips, to landlord properties, giant rental portfolios, apartments. They can absolutely do anything. They do hard money. They do notes. Do it the other way around. They will never figure out wholesaling. You know why? Because almost every one of my cash buyers tries to figure out wholesaling. And after like a month, they go, Rick, it's a lot of work. I'd rather just pay you and do it. So if somebody offers you a quick fix, or what they call 2.0 of wholesaling, once again, it is a sexy term. So you reach in your pocket, you pull out your credit card, and you buy a quick fix to give you that adrenaline rush, to give you that dopamine rush, because you're going to fix a problem, only to find out there's no substance. It doesn't work. It worked for like a month or two, but this guy or gal sold it to everybody. Now everyone knows how to do it. And now basically the loophole's been shut down. So whenever you see a quick fix, I'm telling you guys, there's a reason. Rich people don't do this. They understand everything is work. And to get ahead, you have to separate yourself. If everything was a quick fix and a shortcut, everybody would do it. And that's ultimately what happens with them. So the ones that have success with it, they rely on it so heavily, they usually wind up leaving the business. So I don't want you to do any of that. Okay, I got 2 more left. You ready? 2 more. And then we're jumping on these lives, okay? My God, please stop taking advice from broke people. God knows there's not one person that's short on information on how to get rich. I could go to a homeless camp and they'd probably tell me how to get rich. That's just how people do it. And the biggest people guilty of it is your friends. It doesn't mean you don't love your friends, but please take a look around. You guys know your friends' financial status. And by the way, their financial status is not based on the car they drive or the giant mortgage they have on their house. That's probably the worst way you can look at it. Just look, do they have freedom to do time? And here's a test. I go, hey, you can make it up. You can say, listen, hey, I'm going to, I'm going to go to South America for like 3 weeks in July. It's like 4 or 5 months away. You down with it? Oh, I could never take that kind of time off. Like my boss would fire me or something like that. You see, there's no freedom to do what they want. And everyone's got obligations. But if it's important to me, I'm going to go. If I want to take a month and go off, I've gone to Europe. I've gone to Mexico. I've gone to all sorts of places. I'm getting ready to take some really exotic trips. Why? Because I put 21 years in the wholesaling. I can go when I want. And my staff and all my partners will help me keep everything running while I'm gone. And as long as I have a cell phone connection, a computer, I can do anything I want to do. So stop taking advice from really broke people. They actually mean well, but they don't know how to do it. If you were a baseball player, and I wasn't a great baseball player. I played when I was young, but the sport didn't excite me. If you try to take batting instructions from one of the people sitting in the stands that's never played baseball, you're literally wasting your time. And the thing is, you're wasting your time. So why do you do the same thing when people tell you how to get rich, but they go to a 9-to-5 job and they can't rub 2 nickels together and they only get 2 weeks off a year? You can hear them out, but just don't let it in. Just go, oh, that's interesting. I'll keep that in mind. That's all I say, and I move on. Here's the reality. Think about this. If people ever talk about weight loss, what do they want every time? They don't want your story. They don't even know how you did it. They want to know what the secret is. What's the secret? I don't know. I just eat less and I move more. They don't care. They want to know if you have a pill or something that's a shortcut to make it really fast. Guys, the truth is, if you take advice from people, don't take advice from someone that they have not done the journey themselves, period, especially in wholesaling. I can't stress this enough. You've got to understand this. So I got one more, and this is a big one. And this one's going to sink home for you. So Here we go. Stop comparing yourself to others, only to you. You'll never win this contest. I promise you. You ready for this? I guarantee someone's doing better than you right now. I guarantee someone's doing better than me. I guarantee someone's doing better than Zach. I guarantee someone's doing worse than Zach. Guarantee someone's doing. It never stops. A comparison is always a status. How can I get my status up? And if you let your success or the outcome of your day or your attitude depend on what some stranger you don't even know on the internet says, I just did 6 deals, I'm killing it. First of all, I have no idea what that means. And number two, why are you comparing yourself to a complete stranger? You don't even know who they are. They didn't show you any HUDs. You have no idea what their business is, and you let them ruin your day. The only person you should ever compare yourself to the person you were the day before. That's it. And you need to kick yourself in the ass if you did not get better. If you did not make more contacts, if you did not pursue leads harder, if you did not do follow-ups, you have to hold yourself accountable. Because trying to compare yourself to everyone is ridiculous. Everyone has different experience levels. You have no idea when people started. And the reality is probably half the people on the internet, probably 80 to 90% of the people are lying on one form or another. So you're making comparisons based on thoughts. So your entire outlook on life is based on a false perception of what somebody else presents. It's ridiculous. Stop comparing yourself. You should want everybody to win and use their success as motivation. That's it. Not as, oh my God, I suck. I can't do this anymore. Did you get 1% better every day? If you do, you will make amazing strides. So many of you guys are trying to compare yourself to other people, and I did this, so I'm not a hypocrite. And it's like one day I'm just like, oh my God, I am the man. The next day is like, I can't believe she did 10 more deals than I did. And here's the worst comparison you can have. When somebody says, I did 15 deals, it means nothing to me. What is the relevance of the number? Let me ask you, if you did 15 deals, made 10 grand a deal, it's 150 grand. What if I did 1 deal and I made $1 million? Oh, but she did 15. She's done 15. She did 30. She did 40. It's always a brag. Here's the one truth. This is an observation. This is my opinion, Rick Ginn's opinion, nobody else's. I find people that brag about the number of deals they do, they always, there's no exception to this, have a coaching program. Take the coaching program out, you'll never hear about how many deals they do again. Because like I do quite a bit of deals, and some of the deals suck. I mean, like we just get them done to get our staff paid. It's embarrassing to me. I've had deals that made $1,000, guys. It sucks, but we've already done it. We took the profit. We move on. I personally actually take a loss on that deal, but my staff gets paid. I got deals where I made $120,000. I've had deals with a potential of $1 million that I screwed up because I didn't get enough help. The number of your deals you do will help you with your journey and understanding how to talk to people, but it will never truly design your success. What if you're doing 40 deals a month and you have no time to yourself? You have this huge staff and you're actually losing money. You're never going to see that. You're never going to see that in a live stream because that's the reality of it. I don't want to go to an office every day. I've tried that. I did that for almost 5 years and I did a lot of deals, but like the only thing I could do is tell you, I did 25 deals this month. We did 30. Who cares? Honestly, I'd rather you guys do 4 or 5 deals to be profitable. I'd rather you do one smoke and probate deal and crush it. Go do whatever you want in life. Remember, I'm not the guy who's going to teach you how to make the most amount of money because people who make the most amount, they're usually miserable in my opinion. But what if I could teach you how to make an incredible living, $500 to $1 million net, and do whatever you want without ever reporting to an office? To me, that's my dream. And if you want to subscribe to it, you know where I'm at. That's what I do. I've tried it every other way in 21 years, guys. Trust me, I've tried every way. I did the solopreneur for 7 years. That's why I'm so good at helping you guys because there's nothing you haven't told me I have not personally felt. Honestly, I felt I was literally on an island for 7 years when I ran this business all by myself. I did it too long. I was naive. I was stupid. So, but here's the deal. Stop comparing yourselves with others. Only compare yourself to you and what you were the day before because you have no idea what is going on in someone's life. And I find when people just talk about the number of deals they did, it makes no sense to me. I'm like, so honestly, here's the best. If you're going to gauge on how someone's business is, you need the net number. And the reality, the only way you're going to get the net number is off their tax return. And 98% of the world is not going to share their tax return with you. That's why you don't see anybody showing it because maybe people don't tell you what they actually do. So, okay. So that is it.